When in 2023, the black box of the missing Malaysian airliner was finally found, the pilot's last recorded words shocked experts. "What is that light? It's right in front of us!" cried the highly experienced captain moments before communication was lost. Mountaineers who discovered the aircraft wreckage on an inaccessible Himalayan slope found something incomprehensible inside. Traces of life that continued weeks after the crash. Strange spiral patterns made of feathers from birds unknown to science, and not a single human body. When at night they saw that same glow, distorting the space around it, even the most fearless explorers broke into a cold sweat and screamed in terror. On a cold November evening in 1989, Malaysian Airlines flight MH192 with 167 passengers and 11 crew members disappeared forever from radar screens. Captain Rajiv Chandra, a highly experienced pilot with 15,000 flight hours, was guiding the aircraft through one of the decade's most violent storms. The Himalayas that day had transformed into a veritable hell. Wind gusts reached 120 kilometers per hour, and the temperature at flight altitude plummeted to a monstrous minus 58 degrees. The last words the air traffic controller heard were, "Control, this is flight MH192, entering 7,600. Communication broke off mid-sentence. The plane seemed to have dissolved between mountain peaks. For 3 weeks, 8 helicopters and 12 ground teams combed the presumed crash area, without results. Among the missing passengers were tourists from 14 countries, a group of Buddhist monks, and renowned Himalayan climber Johann Steiner with his team. For their families, years of agonizing uncertainty began. June 2023 became the turning point in this story. An international climbing expedition, led by Scotsman Alex Mackenzie, set out to conquer the eastern slope of Kangchenjunga, the world's third highest peak. This route was considered virtually impassable. Locals called this part of the mountain Korlalhamu, the wheel of the goddess of death, believing it concealed a gateway to the other world. At an altitude of 5,800 meters, the climbers encountered inexplicable phenomena. Electronic compasses went haywire. GPS navigators lost signal under clear skies. At dawn on the third day, Anna Sokolova, a Kazakhstani climber, noticed strange bird behavior. An enormous flock of Himalayan vultures and 2 gigantic eagles circled over one spot on the slope, as if trying to attract people's attention. The Nepalese guide, cheering, flatly refused to continue on the planned route. He recounted an ancient legend about Ram Trulma, mountain guardian spirits in the form of great birds, protecting places where the worlds of the living and dead intersect. Deciding to check what had attracted the eagles' attention, the climbers changed their route. What they found shocked the world. Beneath a meter-thick layer of snow lay the wreckage of a passenger aircraft. White fuselage with blue-red Malaysian Airlines stripe, and the inscription on the side, MH192. The missing flight had finally been found, but the mystery was only beginning. Entering the aircraft through a break in the fuselage, the climbers witnessed a blood-chilling scene. Time inside seemed frozen. Oxygen masks hung from the ceiling. Half-covered cups stood on tray tables. An open Times magazine lay in the aisle with photographs of the Berlin Wall just days before its fall. In the first row, they discovered Johann Steiner's bag with his passport and a leather-bound notebook. It was a diary the climber had kept after the catastrophe. The last entry was dated December 16, 1989, more than a month after the plane's disappearance. From the entries, it became clear. Of 178 people on board, 47 survived the first night. Captain Chandra had organized a temporary shelter from fuselage debris, distributed food supplies, and established a water conservation regimen. But the most remarkable entries concerned the eagles. On the 7th day after the crash, one of the gigantic birds dropped a dead mountain goat near the shelter. The next day, the story repeated. It seemed the eagles were deliberately feeding the people, which saved the survivors from starvation. In the flight log, Captain Chandra described inexplicable phenomena. The compass spun without stopping. The altimeter showed minus 2,000 meters at an altitude of 6,000, and the radio operator heard voices in an unknown language through his headphones. But most mysterious was the strange glow on the mountainside. The monks aboard called it a gateway between worlds, and claimed that those who passed through it would be granted new life in another dimension. Exploring the aircraft further, the climbers discovered that the emergency exit in the tail section had been opened from inside. Around it lay dozens of bird feathers arranged in a spiral pattern. In the center of the spiral was a Tibetan amulet depicting a winged creature, symbol of the Ram Truma guardian spirits. Outside were traces of a tunnel in the snow, leading from the aircraft to the edge of a precipice. But the path forward was blocked by a sheer ice wall 500 meters high. Where had the survivors gone? If they had taken this route, they should have fallen to their deaths. But not a single body was found below. In the evening, the climbers saw the very same glow that Chandra and Steiner had written about, a pulsating bluish radiance, spiraling toward the center. When they directed flashlights at it, the light beams curved as if the surrounding space was deformed. Before leaving, the team saw the eagles one last time. One of the birds dropped a weathered leather wallet at Mackenzie's feet. Inside was Rajiv Chandra's identification and a family photo with an inscription on the back. Passed through the light. New life. Look for us not here. The date, December 17, 1989, the day after Steiner's last entry. Analysis of the black box revealed that before crashing, the aircraft had entered a zone of powerful electromagnetic anomaly. The captain's final words, "What is that light? It's right in front of us." Genetic analysis of some feathers did not match any known bird species, and in the captain's pocket, they found a sheet with mathematical calculations describing a model of a space-time tunnel, a concept that scientists would only begin developing 20 years after the catastrophe. Village elders from nearby settlements recounted that approximately a month after the plane's disappearance, strange people with unusual appearances and remarkable knowledge appeared in the area. They lived there for several weeks before heading east. Captain Chandra's widow revealed that a week before his final flight, her husband had experienced a strange dream about flying through a tunnel of light accompanied by gigantic birds. Upon waking, he said, "If something happens to me, know that I won't die. I'll simply transition to another place." Every year, eagles return to the crashed aircraft. Locals now call the eastern slope of Kangchenjunga the Bird Road, and say that sometimes in clear weather, one can see a shimmer there, as if a door between worlds is opening. The mystery of Flight MH192 remains unsolved, reminding us of the limits of human understanding.